in the last couple weeks of May. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, Sully, how are you today?
Pretty good, man. What's going on? You staying busy these days, I'm sure.
It's a very busy time of the year. The spring season is short, but it's compact with an awful lot going on. So and we're coming to the peak part of that season now. If the weather ever breaks, I'm still waiting for 2 sunny days in a row, basically.
Yep. Before we get into some baseball, let's talk a little bit of track. And you were out there at the Cape Atlantic League Championships in Bridgeton on Thursday, and what a performance by Marquise Bell. I mean, obviously we've talked about him throughout the fall as one of the top football players in South Jersey, but how impressed were you by his performance, especially in the high jump?
Well, outstanding. The first time I saw Marquise Bell was before I even saw him on the football field. I saw him winning a South Jersey Group 2 high jump title as a freshman at Bridgeton 2 years ago. Now he's a Bridgeton junior. Of course, he's got those 22 scholarship offers for football, outstanding wide receiver and defensive back, Rutgers and Michigan, Penn State among the schools that have offered him. And on, Thursday out of Bridgeton, the Cape Atlantic Championships, he wins the Meet of Champions high jump as a sophomore, and last Thursday jumps a personal best 7 feet in the high jump, and 7 feet is one of those magic numbers in track and field. It's kind of like that 4-minute mile. He clears 7 feet. He's the first Cape Atlantic League jumper to do it since Paul Clemick of Mainland, and I think around 2000 or 2001. So just a great job by Marquise going over the bar at 7 feet out of Bridgeton.
Any other takeaways from the Cows? I know we have sectionals coming up soon.
Yeah, you got sectionals coming up this weekend, at Central Regional and Egg Harbor Township. I think the takeaway I have from the track and field season so far, 2 things. I mean, Bo Melton, another big football recruiter, is committed to Rutgers, won 3 events out there at Bridgeton, the 200 dash, the 400 dash, and the long jump. I think the Absegami girls are going to be a team to watch. I think they're a team capable of winning a sectional title. Joshonda Johnson swept both hurdle events. And they just got a lot of depth out there, the Absegami girls. And then I think we got a pair of great distance runners in Juliana Cariata of Egg Harbor Township and Alyssa Aldridge of Mainland Regional. Cariata won the 1600. Aldridge finished second in that event, and they kind of reversed that in the 3200 run, with Aldridge coming back and grabbing the win there, and Cariata finishing second. So I think those are the couple of main takeaways. But, Cape Atlantic League has a history of doing well in track and field, and, it should be no different when the sectional championships are held this weekend coming up at Egg Harbor Township and Central Regional High School.
Mike, what are you looking for in high school baseball this week? Obviously, a development this weekend as the Diamond Classic pushed off to next weekend. How does that change the state playoff picture, and what does that do to the Diamond Classic?
Well, I don't think it really changes the state playoff picture at all. The state playoffs start Monday. What I think it does is even out the Diamond Classic a little bit. I'll put it on more of a level playing field from this perspective. The Diamond Classic would have been held quarterfinals today, semifinals, and final tomorrow. And with the poor weather forecasted for this weekend, they put it off until next weekend. Public schools are kind of always at a little bit of a disadvantage in the Diamond Classic because their playoffs start Monday. So they're trying to play in the Diamond Classic and keep in mind that they're playing a big first-round playoff game on Monday. That kind of affects who they pitch and when they pitch and how they pitch, while the non-public school playoffs start Thursday. So the non-publics have a little breathing room. They can maybe throw that, number 2 starter in the Diamond Classic, and it kind of does pay off. I mean, Bishop Eustace won the Diamond Classic last year, St. Augustine the year before. So non-publics with a little bit of an advantage because their playoffs start 3 days after the Diamond Classic would have ended. Now at the Diamond Classic next weekend, in the middle of playoffs, everybody's kind of in the same pitching situation. So it kind of evens out the Diamond Classic a little bit.
Mike, wanted to break down some of the South Jersey baseball brackets for us, if you could. First off, let's start with South Jersey Group 3. Really cool bracket. You have Ocean City as the top seed. You also have some perennial playoff contenders in there, like Highland and Delsea, and Mainland, 2-time defending champ. They're a number 4 seed. So those top 4 seeds, really anybody could win that section.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got Ocean City and Mainland on the same side of the bracket, but there's a couple of dark horses on that side of the bracket. You've got a good Hamilton team at number 8. You know, a kind of surprise team there, especially when Gianni D'Antonio goes to the mound. One of the more underrated pitchers in South Jersey. You know, they're an 8 seed. They're playing Central Regional. The winner of that game gets the winner of the Ocean City Absegami game. And then, you know, you've got a Lacey team there at the 12 seed. I think they're a little bit of a dark horse, too. They open up at Timber Creek. The winner of that game gets the winner of the game between Mainland and Cumberland. Lacey is a 12 seed. They can pitch. You know, a lot of their losses are a lot, low scores, close games. I'll give you an example. They're 5-13, but they've lost 3 games to Toms River South. You know, in Toms River South, you know, they're in our Elite 11 traditional power. You know, I kind of like them to come out of the other side of the bracket, and the scores of those 3 Lacey losses are 2-1, 4-1, and 3-0. So, you know, you look at the favorites, certainly Ocean City, defending champion Mainland, you know, maybe Toms River South, out of the bottom of the bracket as a 6 seed, but, you know, there's a lot of talent in Group 3 and a lot of dark horses, and Hamilton and Lacey are just 2 of them.
Talking with Mike McGarry, press of Atlantic City, breaking down some of the high school baseball playoffs. Most of them start on Monday. The non-publics will get going later in the week. Mike, South Jersey Group 2, very interesting. If you look at Barnegat, you know, if they happen to not use Groom in the opening round, you know, and if they happen to win that game, they could get a matchup with top-seeded West Deptford with Groom on the mound. I don't know what you know, they're going to do in terms of their pitching rotation, but could be that's a real tough draw for top-seeded West Deptford if it plays out that way.
Well, I had a feeling that this was going to happen when the NJSAA ruled Groom ineligible, and they basically, you know, made them forfeit 2 games. I had a feeling that a very good Group 2 team that had a good season was going to be staring at Groom in the playoffs. And in talking to Coach Dan McCoy after that great event up at Campbell's Field in Camden, the Gloucester Catholic Barnegat game, you know, 1-0 Gloucester Catholic win, but both Groom and Gloucester Catholic standout Tyler Mondell put on a show on the mound, pitching, you know, both pitched great games. He seemed to indicate that Jared Casco would pitch the first-round playoff game, which will be Monday against Middle Township. And Casco, he's headed to NJIT. He's a very good high school pitcher. He's been the winning pitcher in Barnegat's 2 biggest wins this season, his victories over Red Bank Catholic and Point Pleasant Borough. And he said Groom would pitch, you know, then they'd ride Groom from that point on. So I would expect Casco to take the mound Monday against Middle Township, and if Barnegat gets past Middle Township, then I think you will see Jason Groom on the mound against top-seeded West Deptford on Thursday.
Mike, what about South Jersey Group 4? You got some really good teams, Clearview, Lenape, Cherry Hill West, a couple of Cal teams, Millville and Vineland, EHT all made it in. And a real tough matchup. First round, EHT's got to travel to Williamstown, defending champs. So there's a bunch of teams that could really contend for that championship.
Yeah, I think this group is just absolutely loaded. And all you need to know about this group is look at the 8-9 game. You've got Toms River North, which, you know, beat Barnegat, scored 7 runs off Jason Groom, playing number 9 Eastern in the first round. And both those teams are ranked in our Elite 11. Both are among the best teams in the state. And that's your 8-9 game. You know? So that's all you need to know about that group, is that the quality of those 2 teams are, you know, are playing in an 8-9 game. Like you said, anybody can emerge from this group. EHT's been playing well and really hitting the ball. They, you know, a couple of big wins for them this week over Atlantic City and over Hamilton, but they've got to go play on the road against Williamstown. And, you know, at the bottom of the bracket, you've got Millville and Buddy Kennedy hosting Jackson Brick Memorial in the first round. The winner of that game possibly playing the number 2 seed Lenape. So there is just a ton of talent in this group, and like I said, look at that 8-9 game, Toms River North and Eastern. You know, unbelievable. That shows you the depth of talent in this group. Yeah,
that could almost be a semifinal game in a lot of years,
or even a final.
Yeah,
basically. You know.
Another group that's really loaded, non-public A. I mean, you're talking about teams like St. Augustine Prep, Bishop, Eustis, Red Bank Catholic, Gloucester Catholic, CBA. I don't know. you don't want to be involved in that bracket if you can avoid it, but obviously these teams can't. So who do you like in that bracket? And, you know, obviously CBA is one of those teams that, you know, year in and year out, they're putting out one of the best teams in the state.
Well, I think you've got a great, semifinal possible matchup right there. Although St. Augustine might have something to say about that. CBA and Gloucester Catholic are on the same side of the bracket, and St. Augustine, seeded 6th, will host St. John Vianney, the 11th seed, and if St. Augustine were to win that game, they would go to CBA for a quarterfinal game, and then Gloucester Catholic gets the bye into the quarterfinals, would play the winner of the Bishop Eustace Union Catholic game. If it does come out to Gloucester Catholic versus CBA, CBA has a tremendous pitcher in Delatro, a tremendous high school winning streak in the way he's pitched, and Gloucester Catholic, of course, has Tyler Mondel, so you've got a great potential matchup there in the bottom part of the bracket. I think most people would say going in that those are the two best teams in non-public A, CBA and Gloucester Catholic. But as you said, in this group, again, anybody can get on a run and sort of put together a couple of good games in a row. Anybody from the quarterfinals on is capable of winning this group.
It's like in the World Cup when they call it the group of death.
Right, exactly. I mean, you look again like Group 4, non-public A, the same thing. I wouldn't be surprised if you're good enough to make it to the quarterfinals. You're good enough to win this group. So I wouldn't be surprised if any team wins this group that's in the 18 quarterfinal.
Mike, real quick before we let you go, got a minute left or so. Tell us about your experience out there Monday night, Gloucester Catholic versus Barnegat. What a cool high school event! 6,000 people, coming out and raising some money for charity, and hopefully we'll see more stuff like that, in the years to come.
Yeah, just a great event out there. Really a great setting out there. At the base of the Ben Franklin Bridge. It's funny sitting in the press box talking to the other reporters there. We're taking a look at the crowd and we're all like, wow, I think there's 3,000 people there. And then you take a look, 5-10 minutes later, like, wow, might be 4,000 people here. And then another 20 minutes later, we're like, wow, man, I think there's 5,000 people here. And finally, there aren't any seats, and there's people standing on the concourse. So really just a great high school event all the way around. I mean, it was a good game. Both pitchers, Jason Groom and Tyler Mondel, showed why they're outstanding. Groom struck out, 14 Gloucester Catholic hitters in 6 innings. Finished the game with 8 straight strikeouts. Mondel gets the win, strikes out 10 guys from Barnegat, and and all the money raised, which you figure it's got to be around. Tickets were $5 a head. It's got to be 25 to 30,000 split between charities picked by Groom and Mondel. Groom pitched for Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. Just a really tremendous, well-run high school event. One of those events that kind of, you thought going in it was going to be pretty good, and when it happened, it was actually better. And that's a rarity in not only in high school sports, but in any level of sports.
Good stuff, Mike. Always appreciate the time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, bud. Thanks, man.
All right, we'll try to stay dry and get some games in here, Sully.
There you go. All right, thanks, bud.
See you later. Bye.
As Mike McGarry, Press of Atlantic City. Always enjoy his updates, and we'll keep him coming on board throughout the spring season.